Welcome to Haunted Oddities, the podcast where we explore the eerie, the bizarre, and the downright terrifying. I'm Moonlixer, and today we're diving into a chilling figure from European folklore, Krampus. This isn't your typical holiday mascot, so pour yourself a mug of cocoa, or maybe something stronger, and settle in for a story that's as dark as a winter's night. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to apologize. I have been battling a cold for the past couple of weeks, but I'm back and we are ready to hop right on into it. So thank you for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy this awesome, amazing folklore. First things first, who or what is Krampus? If you've never heard of him, let me paint a picture. Imagine a half-goat, half-demon creature with long horns, sharp fangs, and a long tongue that snakes out like it has a mind of its own. He's covered in matted fur, clanging chains, and he carries a bundle of birch sticks or even a sack to cart away naughty children. That's right, Krampus is essentially the anti-Santa Claus, but instead of giving gifts, he doles out punishment. The name Krampus comes from the German word Krampen, which means claw. He's thought to be a pre-Christian figure, possibly tied to pagan traditions celebrating the winter solstice. His story is steeped in mythology and cultural fear, but we'll get into that. Krampus is most famously associated with the Alpine regions, Germany, Austria, and parts of northern Italy. In these countries, he's a key figure in holiday traditions, especially on December 5th, the night known as Krampusnacht, or Krampusnight. While St. Nicholas rewards good children with gifts on December 6th, Krampus comes the night before, ready to scare, or worse, to those who have misbehaved. Now, let's talk origins. Historians believe Krampus's roots go back thousands of years, possibly tied to Norse mythology or even older pagan rituals. Some say he's a descendant of Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld, which makes sense given his hellish appearance. Others tie him to fertility rituals and the ancient belief in spirits that would roam the earth during the darkest nights of winter. But, like many pagan traditions, the story of Krampus was eventually folded into Christianity. During the Middle Ages, the church tried to ban Krampus celebrations, calling him demonic. But you know how folklore works. People keep the tradition alive, blending it with their Christian beliefs. The result? A holiday figure who's equal parts terrifying and festive. Krampus isn't just a legend. In many Alpine villages, Krampusnacht is celebrated with wild parades known as Krampus Run. Imagine hordes of people dressed as Krampus, clanging bells and chains, chasing onlookers through the streets. It's part performance, part celebration, and totally terrifying. The costumes are elaborate, often handmade with grotesque masks and shaggy fur that make them look like they've stepped straight out of a nightmare. These events aren't just for fun, though. They're a way to confront fear and celebrate the darker side of human nature. It's like Halloween, but with a Christmas twist and a lot more cowbells. But here's a question. Is Krampus just a creepy tradition, or does he serve a deeper purpose? Some folklorists believe that Krampus is a way for communities to channel fear and control behavior. Think about it. If you were a kid in the 15th century Austria, wouldn't the thought of a horned monster dragging you to the underworld make you think twice about misbehaving? On the flip side, Krampus has also become a symbol of rebellion. In the 20th century, he faced another ban, but this time from fascist regimes, which considered him a symbol of sin and socialism. But Krampus came back with a vengeance, reclaiming his spot in popular culture. Speaking of pop culture, Krampus has seen a resurgence in recent years. From horror movies to greeting cards, he's become a global phenomenon. The 2015 film Krampus brought his story to a wider audience, blending comedy and horror to remind us all to appreciate the holiday spirit, or else. But for every Hollywood depiction, there's an older, darker version of Krampus that lingers in the shadows of history. He's not just a scary story, he's a reminder of the balance between light and dark, reward and punishment, joy and fear. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. Krampus might seem like just a creepy holiday tradition, but his story carries themes that resonate across cultures. The fear of the unknown, the need for balance, and the power of myth to shape our behavior. So, whether you're decorating your Christmas tree or watching over your shoulder for a long-tongued demon, remember, the holiday season is about more than gifts and cheer. It's also about acknowledging the shadows, and maybe even embracing them. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Haunted Oddities. If you enjoyed our dive into the legend of Krampus, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share the podcast with your friends. Until next time, stay curious and stay haunted.